Universal Design for Learning is a set of educational development principles that gives all individuals equal opportunities to learn. And educators should consider UDL when designing learning goals, methods, materials, and assessments. But why is UDL necessary? Surely students can learn the way they always have. Give them a book, do a lecture, and then give them a written test. The fact is that individuals bring a huge variety of skills, needs, and interests to learning. Neuroscience, which is the study of the brain, reveals that there actually are differences in the way that people's brains process information, and that our brains are as unique and varied as our DNA or our fingerprints. There are three primary brain networks that come into play in the classroom. First is the recognition network, which has to do with how we perceive and process information. CAST, who are the originators of Universal Design for Learning, call this the what of learning. Recognition is how we gather facts and categorize what we see, hear, and read. Under UDL, educators provide increased flexibility for the recognition network, such as different sizes of text for people with visual difficulties, auditory alternatives for visual information, and text alternatives for auditory information. Second is the strategic network, which CAST calls the how of learning. This means the things that we do, the actions we perform, the way we learn and express learning. For example, when some people are thinking, they need to get up and walk around. Other people like to organize and make notes. Others draw pictures. Some prefer group discussions or to act things out. Some people express their learning by organizing essays. Others could make a great video. Some students may need access to tools or assistive technologies to overcome barriers. And some students may need techniques or tools to help them with executive functions like staying organized or managing time. Third is the affective or feeling network, which CAST calls the why of learning. What are some ways to get learners engaged, by which we mean interested? How can you motivate students not just to be interested in the material, but to want to do well, to have pride in accomplishment, to set expectations and then to meet them, to put in effort? Remember that all students are different. They have different motivations and levels of self-esteem. Some prefer reading and others prefer listening. Some like working in groups and others individually. Some are orderly and others dynamic. Some have high literacy levels and others do not. Some are enthusiastic and some are anxious. This is why we need universal design for learning. So we have three primary brain networks: the recognition network, which is supported by multiple means of representation; the strategic network, which is supported by multiple means of expression; and the affective network, which we support by multiple means of engagement. So why UDL? John Ruskin, who was an English writer and artist in the Victorian period, said this about true education: the entire object of true education is to make people not merely do the right things, but to enjoy the right things. Make them not merely industrious, but to love industry. Make them not merely learned, but to love knowledge. Not merely pure, but to love purity. Not merely just, but to hunger and thirst after justice. UDL is about inspiring learners.